resolution did pass the Congress. Just like the KCC working on the North Korea Human Rights Act, they had a pivotal role in that, and so it's really an honor to be with all of you today. I want to just make a couple of really quick points. For 10 years, the KCC has been talking about the human rights tragedy in North Korea, the worst human rights tragedy occurring in the world today, and many of you know that I've also been saying that for some time. It's significant that the Commission of Inquiry has also come to the same conclusion, because North Korea is a member of the United Nations. So it is significant that they have come to that conclusion, something that we've been talking about for decades. But where we have lost ground is on the situation facing the refugees. There's generally an acknowledgement now of the atrocities that are occurring in North Korea. No one disputes that anymore. But where we've lost ground is what's happening with the refugees. The refugee situation is worse today than ever before. And the ability to try to rescue people is much more difficult than ever before. And that's why what the KCC is planning and focusing on the refugees and on the orphans, because there are many orphans in China that need rescuing, and we're supposed to be doing more. The Congress has called upon our government to do more, and we're not doing enough. We're not doing more. And so I think it's a very significant time that this rally is coming up and the events that the KCC will be doing. I think that also what's happened is that people have recognized something that when I first got involved in this issue back in the late 1990s, 1997, 1996 when I actually got involved, I would talk about regime change. We need regime change. And people say, oh, you can't talk about regime change. Well, now people want regime change. Everyone acknowledges we need regime change. And one of the greatest things about the bill, of the legislation, HR 7071, is that it targets this regime. This regime has a choice. It will not survive if this bill gets passed. It will not survive unless it starts to take actions to improve the human rights conditions. It's specifically targeted at the regime, which is what the Commission of Inquiry also called for. Targeted sanctions against the perpetrators of the crimes against humanity that are occurring right now, this very day, in North Korea. And that's what this legislation does, and it's critically important to see this passed. Another significant thing about this legislation is that, as Sam was pointing out, if members of Congress hear from the communities, from their constituencies, they will act. And they've only acted in the past on the North Korea Human Rights Act or on the comfort women issue that Professor Saw was so involved in, when they've heard from Americans. And what the KCC is doing is rallying people to this cause and having them visit their congressmen so that this will move forward. That's why HR 1771 has picked up significant support, because of these kinds of efforts. So it's critically important what the KCC is doing. And I think I also want to just point out is that this is something we all agree on. This is something that is bipartisan. And it's only going to take our words and our action and our efforts to press our members of Congress and our senators to act on this for it to move forward. Because it is something that brings us together. And how nice to have an issue that unites everyone in this very divisive, bitter, not partisan environment in Washington. So I just wanted to make those points, and it's really, again, my honor to be here with all of you to strongly endorse and also participate once again in these efforts. Thank you.